So I've had a pretty bad day today, and it's not so much that it was a really boring day at school. It's the fact that I uncovered something when I was in my local library, and one of my friends pointed this out of the Daily Mirror, and this is it. And of course it didn't used to be a scrumpled up piece of newspaper. I'd done this, so I was so annoyed with it. But basically it was called Top 10 or 10 Reasons Why One Direction is Better Than the Beatles. Of course I have to note that a few of these reasons I actually took off because, well, I wasn't intending to make this video. I was just intending for this to be destroyed as much as possible. But luckily I found this article, if you can call it that, on the Daily Mirror website, so we'll have a look at that. Right, okay, here we are. Reason number 1, the Beatles have never been on X Factor. Now, I doubt this person who made this obviously I don't think they've done that much research into the Beatles, have they? Because obviously they didn't know that 2 of the Beatles members, so that's half of them, died before X Factor even came on. So obviously they're not going to come on X Factor, and even if they did, well, even if they were alive, why the hell would they waste their time on that piece of crap? Anyways, number 2, the Beatles might have produced a few alright songs, oh god, but they also foisted some right howlers on us, like that walrus rubbish. Okay, so people who are obviously watching this are probably people who are already annoyed because the Beatles fans. But to be honest, people who are One Direction fans, do you honestly think that this is better than this? Okay, so I've done a little research, and I mean a little because I'm not going to waste this time, but it's made by someone called Polly Hudson. One Direction only became a band after Nicole Scherzinger suggested it on the show. Good reason for them to be better than the Beatles. So is this Nicole person supposed to have told the Beatles to be a band? So if the Beatles formed in around 1962, this Nicole, whatever, should around be about 60, and I don't think there's many 60-year-olds who are on it. The Beatles, why have they got all the letters in capital letters? Never mind. The Beatles rushed to deliver their first album, bashing out 10 of the 14 tracks in just one day. One Direction have spent a whole year on their debut, so it's obvious which will be the superior record. Have you ever heard of a thing called writing stuff down, or think of something with their brain? You don't have to, oh, I thought of a song, let's make it straight away. You can write it down, and if they've done what the Beatles done and written 10 tracks in a day, as you've put it, yeah, I don't think they'll be as famous as they are now. I'll just say that. When One Direction are apart, they always text and tweet, "I miss you," to each other. The Beatles didn't even like each other enough to stay together. Again, I think you need to do a little more research. For example, when were the Beatles around? The 1960s. Oh, I forgot. Oh, Twitter was obviously back in the 60s, weren't they? Duh, stupid me. You idiot! Twitter wasn't around 50 years ago. You fool! No comment. Number 6. One Direction calls Simon Cowell Uncle Simon. John Lennon never even met Simon. Oh God. Okay, I'll just tell you something. John Lennon got shot, okay? And he died around 30 years ago. Oh, of course, John Lennon should have used his mind powers to go and see Simon Cowell when he was a little toddler, and before he died he should have went, before I die,
great guy, Uncle Simon.
The Beatles tried other names like Johnny and the Moondogs, Long John and the Beatles, and the Silver Beatles before becoming the Beatles. One Direction have always had One Direction about being called One Direction.
That's an excellent point, isn't it? I mean, forget about them being musicians, forget about how musically talented they are. Let's think about their name.
One Direction's Zayn went out with Rebecca Ferguson, good for him, who was much more classier than Cynthia Lennon. During X Factor, Harry, Liam and Zayn were all linked to the same girl, and this could potentially have ripped the band apart. In other words, Cher Lloyd is their Yoko. Amazing.
Obviously, this Polly is too used to thinking that every celebrity has a perfect wife and thinks what they see on TV is real. Just because if a wife and husband isn't all good looking, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out with them or shouldn't marry them. I forgot. Of course, that's all that matters, isn't it? What the outside counts. Number 9.
The Beatles were famous for their hair, yet no Beatle had better hair than Harry Styles.
Wow, Harry Styles. Even his surname has the word in it. Style. God damn. I forgot that hair is so important. One Direction, here's an idea for your next album. Let's make an album called The Hair Album. This is all you do. It's all you hear is you cutting your hair, swishing your hair, and shaving your hair. It'll be the number 1, because of course everyone cares about your lovely, gorgeous hair.
Number 10. One Direction are the ambassadors for Pokemon. The selfish old Beatles were only ever ambassadors for themselves.
Those selfish idiots. Those horrible idiots. How dare they not be around in the 1990s or 2000s or 2010s so they can be ambassadors for good old Pokemon? Forget this. This is the worst article I've ever read in my entire days of existence. Let's get some other famous rock band and make something nasty about them. I've got a good idea. Let's say how The Wanted are better than Pink Floyd. Good reason. Pink Floyd are called Pink Floyd because they're pansies. Let's say how Lady Gaga is better than Jimi Hendrix because Jimi Hendrix died. And let's go and destroy this article.
Here, go on, get some of that.